The Celtics came into this postseason with the expectations that they just fly through the Eastern Conference and cruise on their way to the NBA Finals. That now does not look like the case, as once again the Miami Heat are here to crash someone's party and give them hell. With Game 3 heading to Miami tied up 1-1 and the Heat with all the momentum, I want to look at how they bounced back in Game 2 and what adjustments they made to shake up the Celtics' rhythm. It was a complete 180 flip and gets me excited to see how the chess match will be played for the rest of the series. Let's take a quick dive into Game 1 to see how this all started. In Game 1, it came down to the Celtics getting the shots they usually get and the Heat not taking shots that they were given. Miami started off bringing off-timing double teams, which led to Boston playing off their rotations to get open threes. The Heat would overhelp in the paint, giving the Celtics wide open shots. You see off the pick and roll, Hero tags KP on the roll and Pritchard is left wide open for the three. Miami also ran a lot of zone in the first half. Here Highsmith helps hard on Tatum and Jaquez does not commit to Pritchard on the help, giving up another three. Tatum posted up his fair share in this game and Miami brings that delayed double team and he just made the right plays and the unselfishness of everyone else gets Hauser a corner three. This zone was absolutely beat up, specifically in the corners. Every defender on Miami has their eyes only on the ball, so Hauser just flashes to the open corner and gets another three. Here they double again, and the best way to beat a double team in this rotations is a skip pass and extra to the corner, which is done here. I sound like a broken record, but another double and overhelping from the baseline man leads to Hauser's fourth three of the first half. Look at how the Celtics beat this zone with zero dribbles. They use body and ball movements to combat the Heat's help defense and get the defenders moving, leading to them hitting 22 out of 49 threes in this game. Remember those numbers. And on the other side for Miami, their biggest issues early on was giving up the shots that Boston was inviting them to take. I know these shots don't look completely open by any means, but when you see the shots they took in Game 2, you can tell that it was a point of emphasis from Eric Spoelstra if they wanted to even the series up. Towards the end of the game, however, Miami did start to take more of these shots, and many didn't realize, but this was a preview of what was to come in Game 2. The Celtics ended up growing this lead all the way to 30 and win this game by 20. But the tiny adjustments the Heat made in the fourth quarter set themselves up for a record-setting night a few days later. Game 2 was a complete polar opposite of Game 1 for both teams. You see that graphic that says the Celtics made 22 of 49 threes while the Heat only made 12 of 37. That whole thing flips. For Miami's second possession of the game, you can see there's no hesitation in taking the threes that the Celtics are inviting them to take. Then on the other side, they're giving up the one-on-one in the post even with their weakest defender in Tyler Hero. Here Brown overhelps on the strong side and Jovic hits his second three. The Heat went 8 for 15 from 3 in the first quarter alone, which is a huge jump from the entirety of Game 1. Miami runs a stagger screen for Hero and even with the poor spacing, Porzingis softly closes out, giving Martin another Heat three. Once again, this is not even that open of a shot, but the rookie does not hesitate and knocks down the bucket. In the first quarter, you can see how one side has adjusted to this chess match, but the question was, will the other side stick to what he believes in or alter his game plan to this anomaly of a start for Miami? The short answer for that is no. You see Boston is in the drop coverage with Highsmith as a screener, and after Game 1 of him hesitating to shoot, he quickly pulls a trigger for a three. Then out of the pick and roll, Derek White's attention is on Hero and loses Martin, who knocks down another three. The Heat are now starting to look like how the Celtics have this season with shooting a high volume of threes. But Jaylen Brown ends the half by quickly going on an 11-point run by himself to salvage the Celtics' first half lead, although Miami has hit 13 threes at this point and looks on pace to fire up even more in the second half. In the second half, we're going to look at the defensive side. You see Miami is once again content with Tyler Hero sticking one-on-one even with Kristaps Porzingis in the post. When the Celtics drive, the Heat's help defenders are staying home on shooters and are happily giving Boston 2-point opportunities. In Game 1, these same type of drives resulted in the strong side helping and giving up wide open looks. Now they were simply just trading those Boston twos for threes, which is exactly the strategy the Celtics won 64 games off of in the regular season. And when they needed to rotate, the baseline help is filling those gaps much faster than Game 1. You see once Hero has to replace Martin on the wing to cover White, Bam is sprinting to get to that corner and fill the void. But in Game 1 with that same scenario, those guys on the baseline were not reacting fast enough to that extra pass from the wing, a small adjustment that does wonders for a team defensively. Midway through the third quarter, Miami has doubled Boston in points from the three-point line, and Boston had doubled up Miami from 2, which was exactly the opposite of Game 1. Erik Spoelstra and the Heat simply baited the Celtics to play the way they wanted them to up to this point. They also completely kicked out their patented zone defense and stayed strictly in man to force Boston to less threes, and stayed stout on a drive which gave Derek White no outlets and forced him to go one-on-one for a difficult floater. And here again, the Celtics get the switch they want, but the Heat stay one-on-one on KP, and the struggling big man can't capitalize on a guy a foot shorter than him. At this point, Erik Spoelstra is winning the boxing match against Joe Mazzulla and made the necessary changes to hang in with the best regular season team in the league. To the fourth quarter we go. At the time that Kristaps Porzingis checks back in with 6 minutes left in a 5-point game, this is the start of when I realized in real time that the Celtics game plan coming into the night was all messed up. Highsmith sets the screen for Hero, then flares to the wings, and Holiday starts this by not switching with Tatum, then lazily doesn't close out and gives Highsmith an easy look at a 3. They then come down and get a 2, and Drew is in his own world as Jaylen Brown tells him to switch, and he once again barely closes out to give up back-to-back 3s. This was the beginning of the avalanche on both sides of the ball to close this game out. The Celtics struggle all night to make clean entry passes to KP in the post, and here they do again, which leads to a nice look to Bam out of the pick and roll for the floater. A few possessions later out of a timeout, Derek White for some reason completely abandons Caleb Martin, and he makes him pay again. And to highlight the entirety of Miami's game plan, Tatum drives and Bam stunts and gets back to leave the rookie one-on-one with the Celtics superstar, and he clamps him up to force the miss. Erik Spoelstra completely outcoaches Joe Mazzulla and sets his squad up for a huge 2 games heading back to Miami. The Heat adjusted beautifully on both sides of the ball. They set a franchise playoff record in season high with 23 threes made on 43 attempts and limits Boston to only 12 made threes on their third least amount of attempts on the season with 32. I know for a fact that the Celtics will adjust to getting more threes up because that's what they do, but I'm very curious to see if the Celtics will stick to their philosophy of giving the Heat threes defensively. Post-game, they seem very content with their closeouts, which is an issue to me.
I mean, how do you respond when they're shooting 56% from 3? I mean,
I think we stay solid. Stick to the game plan, whatever the game plan is for next time or for next game. We know that they're going to be at home, so they're going to have a little bit more juice, but I don't think we react at all. I think we stay as even-keeled as possible.
Another quote like, guys that we wanted shooting the ball was hitting them, and we couldn't get them to miss. We thought they were decent closeouts is really a problem for me. That, in my opinion, will be the story of the next few games and what this series might come down to. Because giving up 23 wide open threes and the Heat making 15 of them is very concerning if that's your game plan. When those quote good closeouts happen, they only shoot 2 for 6. The Celtics will also need to find a way to make Porzingis effective. In Game 2, he was completely tuned down and played off the court by Bam Adebayo and the Miami Heat. Like I said, the offensive adjustments by Mazzulla is the last thing I'd be worried about as a fan because they will get it fixed. It's defensively where Boston needs to lock in, because there's no reason this talented of a team should go deep into a playoff series with this Heat team missing 2 of their starters. I am very excited to see how this series shakes up. I still do expect the Celtics to advance to the next round, but these developments cannot be taken lightly. Appreciate y'all for watching, and I'll see you for my next breakdown. Peace.